Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dana University, where we discuss the good
The bad.
and the ugly
And you are?
of all things dating and relationships. I swear my co-host is just slipped.
No, you didn't say who you were first. You're
I
supposed
was
to
going
say,
to do that. I was going to
oh,
do
okay.
that.
Let's do take two then.
No, we live, baby. This is it.
Y'all got what y'all
Welcome.
got today.
Welcome. I'm your co-host, Professor Charles, along with my beautiful co-host.
Professor Brittany.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Tonight. It is Thursday, y'all.
Happy
Yes.
Thursday.
Happy Thursday. Shout out to everybody watching Facebook, YouTube, everybody listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, what have you. Shout out to he didn't. I'm looking at our guest in the in the backstage of his name. I love it. Oh, he changed his name. All right. Yes, thank you one and all for always watching us. Thank you for enjoying our content. So you know what your job is, you know what your homework is. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. We love you guys so much. Hey, what's going on, Brittany? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great today. It's
Yeah.
my favorite day of the week.
Okay.
I'm on like a chill type vibe tonight.
Yeah. Facts.
Because I have a
Facts.
really busy weekend.
Hmm.
So I just know that I need to harvest up my chill
Yeah.
before it gets really chaotic.
Yeah, yeah, I get that. I do. I
How are
do.
you?
I am kind of on the same boat, just kind of, we coming back off of a nice little quick vacay, a little getaway situation. And yeah, got dumped right back into the freight of work, but uh,
For sure.
I think we have a really busy weekend as well. So
So
I'm
busy.
with you, conserving the energy.
You gotta harvest the energy.
Yeah, you gotta contain it. You can't give it all.
Yeah,
Because I
because it's
normally give it all like on our show, and then like right after. Do you crash after
oh my
you do
god,
our
yeah.
show?
I mean, granted, we have to do a post show talk, but after
Yeah,
that, I chill. I watch
yeah,
my shows, and I'm
yeah.
just in like coast mode until work tomorrow.
Oh man, mine is different. Like I crash,
Oh,
fam.
you crazash.
I guess it's because not only am I hosting, but I'm doing the producing side, so I'm making
Yeah.
sure the comments is up, I'm making sure the music is good. Speaking of Jesus, I got that playing. See, I'm messing up, y'all.
No, you're not. No such
Tripping.
thing. I didn't even notice the music wasn't playing, so they wouldn't have noticed either.
There it is. Cool.
Charles, by the way,
Yo,
are you excited for the weekend, meaning Sunday?
yes, I am so excited. I am so excited. Why am I so excited? Because my Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up
So
for the birds. Come
I am
on.
not football savvy, so I don't even know when the last time they won a Super Bowl, when the last time they've been to a playoff. Fill me in. Fill some of the
Um,
people in.
so we went to the Super Bowl back in 2017 against the Patriots,
Ooh,
who was heavily favored to win, and we skunked them with our backup quarterback at the time. So yeah, man, it took us a couple years to kind of get the pieces together. We got some excellent talent at quarterback, Mr. Jalen Hurts. Our offensive line is crazy. Our defensive line is crazy.
uh,
We got three of the best running backs in the league right now. We got our secondary is crazy. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's going to be a cakewalk against the Chiefs, but yeah, I think we're going to pull out a win. I got that feeling. It's welling up, the same feeling I had back in 2017,
okay,
2018 when I was like,
okay.
I was telling everybody, I was like, yo, we going to win a Super Bowl, and everybody was looking at me like I was crazy because I was like, what are you talking about? The Patriots is going to win. I'm like, mm-mm. 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 Not today. Not today.
And lo and behold.
Nah, lo and behold, we back in. Yeah, and my fiance, my future wife, my queen, my love, my muse, my
Oh
inspiration.
wow. Okay.
Does not like the
Okay.
fact when I get to talking about my Eagles because she likes another team, actually too, which is whatever. But
Yeah. I
anyway,
know one liking one, but two.
I know, right?
Yes.
I know, right? I know, right? So, all right, tonight, what are we talking about tonight? Before we get into all that, we got a special guest backstage. Y'all know him. Y'all have seen him. Y'all
I
love
really
him.
know him.
You really know him.
I really
I would hope
biblically, if you're a church person, biblically, I know him.
Oh my God. Yes.
In real life, I really know him.
Yes, we are welcoming back to the classroom. And he listen, did you see his name that he changed his name?
No, I didn't
to?
see his name.
You can't see it in the backstage?
No, I can't see it.
Okay, all right, you gotta see it. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the classroom. Professor D. Bev.
What's up, baby?
What's up, brother?
Hey. I'm gonna start off by saying that I'm sitting here rocking the merch, okay? The classic Black Love that we're celebrating this month, Black History, Black Love.
Yes.
Let's keep it consistent, baby. Let's go.
Yes, I love it. Thank you so much.
Get the merch, y'all. Get the merch. If you support my baby and my brother's show, cost a couple of dollars. It ain't a whole lot, Go ahead and get a t-shirt, get a pair of hooping shorts.
That's my next purchase.
Get a t-shirt.
That's my next
Rock
purchase.
the merch. So
Yes.
happy Friday Eve to the both of y'all.
Yes,
Thank
happy
you so
Friday
much.
Eve.
Happy
For our
Friday
new
Eve.
listeners that have never listened, to our new viewers that have never viewed, this guest down here is my handsome husband. My handsome husband.
Indeed.
Welcome, love.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
And speaking of the merch, man, I'm working on something. Ooh, I
What
got a
y'all be
fresh
doing,
hoodie.
man?
I
Look,
got a fresh hoodie.
you keep doing what you're
man.
doing. I can go and take you away.
But
Now you're gonna be like, "Hey, you, come here."
no, this one right here. This will never leave my side. I promise.
We may have to send one to the GOAT, LeBron James.
Hey, man.
We
Hey,
might
you
have
put that
to.
record yesterday too, so
Yeah.
we're looking for a t-shirt.
Look, she already scouting. Look at her.
I knew it. I was going to say.
Oh, yeah,
You
scouting
can't say the
nerdy.
H word and not expect women to be like,
Have it.
what? Hoodie.
So,
Oh,
yeah,
man.
I'm gonna try to drop it tonight. So
Take your time, brother. Take your time.
You on the lookout.
I'm so excited to get into tonight's topic.
Yes,
We
what are
have
we
been
talking about?
discussing this show is just so good. The Best Man, final chapters. We have been delving into different relationship dynamics. And this week is a continuation of our conversation. The first pair that we looked at, the first relationship that we discussed was that of Harper and Robin. Now, what better segue, what better couple dynamic to discuss than Harper and Jordan? Can't discuss one dynamic without discussing the other. So tonight we're going to dive in to the Harper Jordan saga. And boy, has it been a saga.
Yes,
Juiciness. The juiciness.
So juicy. So if we go back to the first movie, y'all, we get backstory about how they were in college and they were supposed to hook up. So we already know there's some kind of sexual tension there. But then we go to the present and they're meeting up for Lance and Mia's wedding. And so we see in the first movie, there's some unresolved sexual tension, them both wanting to explore the what if. And mind you, as we discussed last week, Harper was in a whole relationship. with Robin. So how was that gonna work? So here we have Jordan already being a known sneaky link, and her being okay with that. Her being okay with that. So before they even get a chance to blossom whatever type of sexual tension they had, Lance read the uninterrupted business book. He didn't like it, and my man Harper got yanked, and he
unfinished.
got
It's unfinished business.
unfinished. What did I say?
Uninterrupted.
Ooh, it was uninterrupted, but unfinished business. And man, oh man, he got banged up, y'all. He got banged up. He wanted to do some banging, but he got banged up. Mm-hmm. And so he shows up to Jordan's, her door, and he's ready to go. And she sees his face like, what the hell? That's not the type of banging I'm trying to get, but and he pretty much runs down all that happens. And when you're talking to somebody that you're interested in, that you've invested so much time and emotional energy into, you're hoping that they're a little soft with their approach. Homegirl wasn't soft at all. She had no sympathy. She had no time for that. She was like, it's your fault. And she pretty much kicked the man while he was down, took her lingerie, and she looked pretty damn good in that lingerie, not gonna lie.
She did. That she did.
And she took herself to bed. She was just like, this is on you. And I think that was when he needed her the most. Like, sex aside, I need you as my friend. Because that's the foundation of what we had.
Right. That's not where she was.
Right. And so she took that and said, you know what? This is on you. I'm going to bed. What was supposed to happen, it ain't happening no more. And that's the first movie. That's the first installment. So let's start there.
Okay. Let's start there.
Any takeaways from that first movie? Like, how do you feel about Harper? How do you feel about Jordan? How do you feel about them individually as well as collectively together?
All right, I'm gonna kick it off. I felt like Harper and Jordan were two ships passing in the night.
Okay.
They both had this attraction to each other. But it was always, like we talked about last week, it was always something that got in the way.
Always.
And so you were kind of just, stuck with the what ifs. And those what ifs can be really powerful.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
They can be really, really powerful.
Yes.
And I feel like Harper got with Robin because she was safe.
Woo!
It wasn't a whole lot of it was a lot of what you see is what you get. Well, let me rephrase that. With Robin, it was more like I said, she was safe for him because she knew that she would be there for him through thick and thin.
Yes.
Jordan, on the other hand, was his desire.
Yes.
Desire is passion. Desire is lust. Desire
is good, Charles.
It's one thing, and it's rare that you will find somebody that has your safety and your desire. So he liked two women, which can happen, just like a woman can like two men. It's just Robin was safety. It was consistency. It was the future that he wanted, what he needed. And then Jordan, like I said, was his desire. It was his passion. It was his muse.
Yes.
that got all of his creative juices flowing, but like the brightest star, they fizzle out real fast.
It's such a good point. Yeah. Gary, what do you think?
So I've been thinking about this, for the last couple of weeks, and I want to applaud the director of Best Man Holiday, and Best Man series, because I'm not sure people can think about the sheer genius in these shows, these movies that shows black relationships from all sorts of ways. Okay, so I want to start off saying that. Jordan and Harper, okay, they are the stories that we don't really hear about, because you always hear, oh, you find that right one and it's going to work out, But this is the case where you find a right one and it doesn't work in your favor, because that right one really wasn't the right one for you. All right? Now, hear me out for 1 second. I think that Jordan appeals to the worst side of Harper.
Ooh.
Reason why?
Ooh.
Reason why? If you watch part 1, okay, Merch asked Harper, hey, when was the last time you seen Jordan? Harper said, oh, last year. We didn't get a chance to hang out because, she was busy with this, I was busy with that. Okay. So we don't know if Harper was single at the time, but, they could have had a time to hook up, and see that whatever. Now, Jordan on part 1 tempted Harper to cheat on his fiance for her selfishness, okay? Even though they may have had that last summer before to hook up, she decides now is the time to hook up, even though I know your fiance is coming tomorrow. Let's sneak this in. Okay?
Girlfriend, not fiance.
So, I'm sorry, girlfriend. So that's 1, okay? 2, I'm going to fast forward to the second movie for a second.
No, we're still in the first one, baby.
Okay.
Let him go and rock.
It's not a spoiler, but it kind of proves my point.
Okay.
Second movie, they all get back together for the first time. Lance and Harper is already on like thin ice. Okay, you can tell that Lance is like kind of dealing with Harper. All right, and so Harper's book isn't selling too well. He decides, I'm going to try to do a bio on Lance without asking Lance. So that night, Jordan sneaks to the kitchen and sees Harper jotting down notes, and she's, hey, you're doing a bio on Lance, and he's like, yeah. Now, a reasonable friend that know that situation from part 1 would have at least said, hey, at least ask Lance. Have you asked Lance this? Like, what is his, what is his approach on this? But no, she didn't take that approach. She said, oh, look, I can help you with this. Make sure that Maya knows, because he'll do everything Maya says. So she caters to his greediness, because they both have that business-minded self. They have that business-minded where business comes first. So, now if you look at their relationship, they're both very business-minded. They're both successful. I mean, even though Harper goes through a rough time, and Jordan is very successful. But if you look at Jordan's life, she doesn't have a man. She don't have a problem getting a man. She has a problem keeping a man, because I believe in her life, business comes first. Harper ends up finding that safe woman who is the opposite of him and marries her. And like you said last week, babe, I don't want to, I'm getting character names, but his Robin, she is what he needed at that time. Like you said, when he got beat up by Lance, he needed his friend. His friend was not there. But the moment his girlfriend got off the plane, he told her what happened. She was mad at him cheating, but she helped him go through that situation. So when you see that dynamic right there, I'm sure that Jordan is jealous because she could have had that, but she don't bring that side to him. She doesn't. That's why they're not together. Basically, is what I'm trying to say. You know, because she can't be there for him.
Yeah.
When he really needs.
Yeah.
And I think when we look at the first movie, Jordan is overly aggressive. Robin is overly passive. When we bring those two energies together when they are around each other, it's very passive aggressive. You have Robin that knows what's happening and she chooses not to say anything, but then you have Jordan. You're aggressive when she's not there, but now that she's here, you're extra quiet. You're guilty, and you don't know what to say. And I noticed that energy as soon as Robin walked in, and I'm like, you know, side chicks be real vociferous. They real talking when
you better come on with the loquacious
not in the room.
Your foes, come on now.
Yeah, but once the girlfriend's in the room, that boastfulness, that vigor, that louder than life personality, that aggressiveness. Now you're timid. Now you don't know what to do. Now you don't know what to say. You have this awkward hello, and you have these two women that have this man in common, but they're not at a place to discuss because A, they're there for a wedding, but B, that's how the dynamic usually goes. The side chick has all this mouth behind closed doors, but then when she's confronted with the woman, it's like, oh, hey, miss me with the fakeness, girl.
Now you said something, Brittany, about Jordan being the aggressive one and Robin being the more passive one. You know, it kind of goes to where men usually find themselves settling. We like aggression to an extent.
Oof.
But there is something so attractive about the passiveness or more so the quietness of a woman. You know what I'm saying? And again, I think that's again, like I said, Robin was his safe space. You know what I'm saying? Like you know when. Oh my goodness! I want to get it all together, but I'm a piecemeal it.
No, you can piecemeal it. We got time. We got time, and we got several stages of their relationship.
So yeah, and you can see how visibly. I don't want to say uncomfortable, but that is the word that when Jordan was being aggressive to him. He was just flustered. Flustered is the better word. Like you, like oh shh, like oh my god, you and you know us and there's
are men really used to that? Are they exactly? Are y'all used to a woman that knows what she wants, especially in the sexual realm? Exactly. A woman that's like, I want to have sex with you.
Exactly.
Like,
we're not used to it. Yeah, we're not used to getting that type of energy. And you know, and not only not being used to having that energy thrown at us, but to have two women that want us at the same time. Especially if you're not living that player lifestyle, your wires are crossed.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And what year did this movie come out? The first one, was it in the 90s?
It was 1995.
So think about that. It's more common now for women to be sexually expressive, to be comfortable in their own skin. But thinking about that aggressive nature in the 90s, like we were still in this traditional, like women shouldn't really talk about sex. Sex for women is such a dirty word. So I really appreciated the fact that she was confident and like, I want this. Let's do this. She set up, you know, her apartment. She was ready to go. I mean, she had the candles going, the lingerie on. This is what it is. When he comes, I'm about to drop it low. and I love that about her.
Hmm. But it
Robin,
was also on her time.
exactly. It was on her
It
time.
was
Yeah.
it was also on her time,
Exactly.
Yeah.
and we fail to realize sometimes that the best laid plans of mice and men often go awry.
Yeah. But you know what's funny with Harper, and it still makes me side eye him
Hmm.
when Robin, not Robin, when Jordan is aggressive with her sexuality, he jumps at it. But when Robin was aggressive, the only time she was aggressive was talking about taking their relationship to the next level. He dragged his feet.
Mm.
He was having that avoidance type of conversation, like, oh, let's change the subject, or let's divert our energies here.
Mm.
When it comes to sex, you down with it, you about it. But when it was time to really get serious and talk about life with somebody that's been holding you down, you made this girl. I mean, you left her with a cliffhanger, like, oh, I'm about to head out. Like, I'll meet you at this wedding, and it's a wedding of all places. And she's like, when are we gonna get to that place? And he's like, well,
But can I comment on that?
yeah, baby.
Because I kind of understood where he came from. The thing with Robin was Robin wasn't stable. 'Cause that was her flaw in the first movie. When he first saw his boys and whatnot, they joked around, and he's like, "What is she?" And he's like, "One." Quentin said, "Oh, she's this," and Lance said, "Oh no, she's that." And Mercer's like, "Oh no, she's that." And Jordan was like, "No, she's a chef. God damn it! Like she done went through so many different professions. Okay, and at that part of your life, you kind of want to be settled down and into your career, and she's still trying to find hers. So I think one of the flaws that she had to him was the fact that she couldn't find her footing into her career, And I think it kind of seemed like that for a while. Well, I see the second movie for the second movie, but at that time, I'm sure he's like, well, I could have had this woman right here who has a lot, has her own success, but I'm with this woman who can't even figure out what she wants to be.
Yeah,
Mm.
sure. And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do appreciate
Yeah.
that. Oh, I'm sorry, Charles. Go ahead.
Yeah. Again, it's it's the desire versus the safety.
Yeah.
He saw the drive that Jordan had, and he was
Yes.
attracted to it.
Yes.
And then, he thought that he would still be attracted to Robin in that same kind of way, but flake after flake after flake, it kind of that weighs a toll on you,
Yeah.
like we talked about in the last episode. Like he dragged his feet on so many things when it came to her. He dragged his feet when she told him she loved him from the first time, and he was like, all right, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
He dragged his feet with the whole like wanting to be together. Then he went off the deep end with proposing at somebody else's wedding, and then he to continuously like drug his feet with everything else because it went from safe and stable to unknown, and Harper doesn't do well in the unknown.
No, and that's a really good point. But the unknown with Jordan is the fact that in the first movie, we see her as this aggressive boss woman that's in control of her career. We see her as that friend that's giving out advice, that's giving out business advice, friendship advice, but we don't really know her in a nurturing relationship mode. So we
Mhm.
can't speak to how she is as a girlfriend. We can't speak to how she is as a partner. And that's the unknown that Harper had to realize for himself. Like, you know what? We have this commonality of business mindedness and being savvy and being able to network and being able to command a room. But I can't say that I can connect with her on a relationship level because when I needed her to be that emotional foundation for me. She couldn't even give me that.
And I
So
think that
I
was
think
on
that's
purpose.
what pulled him back. Yeah, and I think that's what pulled
That was
him back.
definitely
That
on
was the
purpose.
unknown. Like, well, good grief, I don't even know if I can be with her because I don't even know if she'll be there if I need her to hold me down.
Yes.
And that's the thing, and let's call it what it is. Jordan was and is emotionally unavailable.
Yeah.
She wasn't emotionally intelligent or intuitive. She wasn't emotionally intuitive. Let's put it like that. Because she was very emotionally intelligent when it came to her own life. With her getting her, taking control even when, she was already in control. And it felt like it was a lot of stuff was beyond her control. She had to be like, you know what? Nope, I gotta take control of this. But her emotional intuitiveness, she lacked.
Right.
She wanted what she wanted when she wanted it.
Right.
I mean, and that's how it usually goes with people who are in career mode and they're consistently climbing the ladder. It's all about the next rung. Like, how do I get to the next rung?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Who do I step on? Who do I gotta move and shake and schmooze and all of this and everything? And that's how she dealt with her romantic things. It was, I mean, look, okay. Take, for instance, when they were on the island for Quentin's wedding. The young guy, I can't remember his name, but he was the photographer, but also the shaman and all that other stuff. And he was being dominant. He was suave. He was trying to, really get her to, kind of crack that nut and open her up a little bit. And then she was just, no, it's on my time. It's on my terms. It's on how I want to do it. You know what I'm saying? And then when she finally kind of opened up and she saw another layer of this man, it was just like,
right. But
the nut closed back out.
I feel like for that's still temporary because at the heart of it all, her and Harper have this underlying selfishness in common.
Ooh,
like
hell
when
yeah,
you're
you do.
in business
Yes, you
together, when
Man.
you're in these cutthroat professions, you kind of have to be selfish because there's competition and you have to be able to come out on top. You want to be
Only
the
as good
best
as your
on
last.
offer. You have to write by yourself, make it work. You want to have the best show. Sometimes you got to step on some necks to get to the top of the best show. But with Robin, throughout the first movie, even segueing into the second, she ended the first movie alone. Everybody else had somebody besides her, and it's lonely. It's lonely. So when you look at the second movie, you're like, oh, she has someone. But for me, it still wasn't believable. I'm like, this relationship doesn't even go together. It's not even for the obvious reason that this man is white. It's just the fact that she has a man.
Right. It was a placeholder.
I just don't see you with someone. And I don't
Now-
understand. And I think they did that intentionally to show us, like, there are some people that just may not be relationship material, but they may want companionship. And then wanting companionship, do you want the responsibility of having your own partner, or is it easier to be the side?
It's easy to be the side. But go ahead, Darius.
Now there's a line, there's a scene in the second movie that you got to catch. Now when they first came, she said he's only here for a night because he's going to go with his family in Vancouver. Okay, so the next morning he's getting into the car, they kiss. She comments about the sex they had that morning, and he says, sometimes I feel like you don't need me, and she answers by saying, I don't. And you can see in his face, like, he's like, why am I here? And she kind of, I wouldn't say she shrugs him off, but it's like she could not understand what he was saying, and he just like, okay, just give her a kiss, got in the car and drove off. and Harper was coming back from a jog, and he's looking at the guy. His name's Brian. Looks at Brian and looks at Jordan like, hey, what happened? And she's just like, and it's sad because Brian was the 007 looking white guy. He wasn't no trailer trash.
Yeah.
But, he was not. He was like, he wasn't an ugly dude at all. Okay,
Right.
like he looked like he was her type.
Right.
And we didn't even know Brian's career. We're just assuming from context clues what he is in life.
Yeah.
And they're probably right up there with each other. But Brian, like Jordan, Brian, like Harper, needed something from Jordan that she was not willing to give up.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm gonna say this with all truthfulness because I have been here before in my life. Ladies, the worst thing you can do to a man is reject him when he is becoming vulnerable. Okay. For a man to become vulnerable to you, means he trusts you more than he trusts any other woman. Vulnerability is not something that's handed out at all. Like women will hand out. I feel like women can love. They can love freely. They can not necessarily hand out love, but they give love more freely than we do. The one thing that we hold is trust. For me to trust you to see me in my most vulnerable state is something that I don't show everybody. Okay, so that is one of the worst things to do to any man on earth, because we do not give that out. We don't give that away. And
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and we're at an age where men has to be tough. Well, we were at an age where men have to be tough. We were taught not to cry, not to look weak, nothing like that. And you don't want to look weak in front of your woman. But when you do have to look weak in front of your woman, you gotta trust her that she won't look at you some type of way.
And it's still a strength in that. And and it took us forever to finally get that, as we grew older, that
right. Well, of course, yeah.
Being vulnerable is not about being weak. It's about being strong enough to be like,
I need help.
I need help.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And the sad part about it is, even in vulnerability, I feel like Jordan brought that man out there because
okay, Brandy.
the only
She lied though.
couple person.
Sorry, say that again, baby cake.
I feel like Jordan brought Brian to the the retreat because she didn't want to be the only uncoupled person.
Oh yeah, of course.
I mean,
Of course,
imagine
of
you
course,
have
yeah.
everybody that are in not just relationships; these are like marriages.
Married families
This
now.
is called
Kids
long,
involved.
long black love.
Right.
And then you have her showing up. So it's like, I need to be a part of this. The man's not even black, but still black love. She's like, I'm gonna bring somebody out here so I can make it believable to not only them, but try to convince myself that this is what I want. And so in the second installment, you don't really see a lot of interaction between Harper and Jordan, because we have to move on with the fact that Harper's now married.
And pregnant.
Completely different. Married and pregnant is completely different. Like Harper is so into his wife that Jordan, if you even tried, you would get your feelings hurt. A pregnant woman, especially at a moment where things are coming out with Mia, like emotions are so raw and vulnerable, and seeing Lance be a good husband to his wife, I think that brings that out of Harper as well. Like Harper tends to feed off the energy that's around him.
He does. He's a chameleon.
So he's able to now step up and be a good husband. And I think they wanted us to see him focusing on his family and not caught in the middle, because that wasn't the time or the place to be conflicted. So that's why I'm really thankful for the second installment. It was a feel-good movie with sad parts, of course. But we were able to see like the strength of black love, the strength of black family, the strength of community coming together. So the whole Jordan side piece saga, we were able to chill and breathe and relax. And I didn't dislike her as much in the second installment for other reasons outside of like, you're just selfish and you get on my nerves. But it was the final chapters where I'm like, okay, now you and I need to talk, Jordan, because now now you're back to your ways. You
So
see
before we get to that part, can we talk about the good
of Jordan and Harper?
Yes, because there was a lot of good.
We're
only thinking about the salacious part of their relationship, but there was a lot of good in their relationship.
I think they're good friends. I think they're real good friends. Able to connect on a friendship level, on a business level. She gives good business advice. Like, they're there for each other at the heart of it.
Mm-hmm. Don't say but. Don't say but. I'm about to say because that butt was like.
They're good friends. I mean, they're good friends.
So let me ask. We're not gonna explore the fact that that having that relationship, that friendship that they had, gave them I don't want to say sharpened but it shaped how they moved further in their life. What do I mean by that? Okay.
You read our faces.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying, I just want to explore the good part about having the male female friendship, and how it can help you move forward, and like how she helped him see the foolish way that he was acting, like with the book. She was just like, bruh, like, you really gotta tell.
You aired your dirty laundry.
You aired your dirty laundry without talking to the crew. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's sometimes our guy friends won't be as honest with us. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, from the female side, sometimes your female friends won't be as honest with you. So it's something important about that relationship.
Yeah.
And I don't think they hinted at it a lot in the movie, but they never explored it, because I think they wanted to stay in that little bit of like, will they, won't they realm. Like, even after so towards the end in the series, the scene with the rubber band ball, that stuck out to me so much, because I was just like, because at one point, like, they really were like dope ass friends, like, and they really cared for each other, and they really, despite the, the marriages and the relationships and everything, that they continued to, how do I want to say it? Like you said, they fed off each other. In that sense.
See, here's the thing. I have to go there.
Okay.
Charles, you have women friends. Derry, you have women friends.
Mm-hmm.
I love the platonic friends that you both have.
Mm-hmm.
I know them. Harper and Jordan are not all of the way platonic.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not she's the friend I wouldn't trust around him by themselves. They feed off of each other in public. They can have a platonic relationship in public, but when they get alcohol in them, when they get time, space, and opportunity to be alone, that platonic is out the window. I mean, they have so much good, but they also have that underlying chemistry where it's like, if Harper were my man and he said, "Oh, I'm about to go have drinks with Jordan," I'd be like, "What time are we leaving? What time are we leaving?
We going."
Yeah, hold on. But babe, you were asleep. I'm awake now. Bonnet off, makeup on. Let's go.
Like, we outside.
So at the heart of it all, it's like, are they truly platonic friends, or are they friends with a little bit of oomph?
Well, see, I think the love between them kind of gives them the friendship that they have. Yes. Are they platonic friends? Not necessarily.
Right.
They're that couple. They're the friends that coulda, should had, but didn't. Mm-hmm. But her love for him, keeps things 100 between each other. where like Andrea said, like she helped him to accountability that
Right.
nobody else did. I mean,
Exactly.
yeah, even when the fellas got together, I mean, Lance would get pissed at Harper, but I mean, the guys never sat down and said, "Hey, man, we need to hash this out." You know,
Exactly.
it
That
was
that was my
Jordan.
that
Yeah,
was
it
my
was
point.
Jordan that said, "You aired out your dirty business." You
Mhm.
know, with the book.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, you know, platonic friendships can be very interesting
They can
because
be. They can be.
we don't know how they first met, whether it was in college or high school or whatever. But we know that at some point they in college they should have been together, but they didn't. Okay, so that's going to always linger in your friendship. You know, and even though
He
you're
said
trying to be
nature.
friends, you are trying to keep things on a friendly level. The fact that y'all didn't explore this sexual tension that you guys have, it's gonna always keep popping up.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have somebody that have a selfish mindset,
Mm-hmm.
they're not going to say no to it. Somebody's going to have to say no because the other one's not. So that's what made the relationship so dramified. But
Yeah, I agree with
yeah,
I agree with you. I agree with you so much. Like I really wish they would have played up a little bit more of their real friendship, like what it was supposed to be versus like the sexual attraction between the two. I think that made it so much one sided. It made their relationship more one dimensional than anything else.
but things like that, if it don't get settled, it kind of grows. So
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
little secret with me is I saw part one at the movie theater. Okay.
Mhm.
And I was rooting for them to hook up before his girlfriend came
Oh
in
yeah,
town.
everybody was.
And I was pissed when she got off the plane and he didn't. Like, oh man, you should, you know. And
Yeah, it's
even
like
at 20
but
years old, I'm thinking with a 20-year-old mindset, like, oh man,
yeah,
you should have hit that. Like, what's wrong with you?
yeah,
The
yeah,
fact that he never did and it got that close,
yeah.
it's never going to go away.
Right.
For that to go away, you got to stop being friends. And most of us, of course, we don't want that to happen.
Yeah,
But
and it
yeah.
happens like as you
Mhm.
grow and you're in a new relationship and a new marriage and you have a past with someone else. Yeah, you definitely have to cut that shit off and move forward because you don't want even if you are dead set against anything going on with this person, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? It's the comfortability of your mate that you want to keep, intact. You don't want
Right.
them to be wondering like, oh God, they going out with this person, like what's getting ready to happen?
Right.
And
Exactly.
it makes them question everybody else that you have in your circle. Like how many
Right.
of these other motherfuckers have you fucked? You know what I'm saying? It's like and
So
that's
that's why
no
we
fun. That's
saying
no fun for
platonic
nobody.
friends.
Yeah, that's no fun for nobody. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like
I mean,
no
hold
one
on.
wants to be questioned every time they go out, you know what I'm saying? Because
Uh-huh.
just because you're in a relationship, just because you're in a marriage, just because you're in these situations doesn't mean that you are 100% like only about this person. Like you can't go not a near other place without what I'm saying, your spouse, your significant other.
Mm-hmm.
It's the trust that is built in
Uh-huh.
between that time. And not only the trust, but the introduction of the people.
Right. Right. Uh-huh.
And just come up with some new friend. I mean, I know we're going a little off topic, but we just kind of waiting for Brittany to come back. We should get everything situated.
So real quick, I just looked up the definition of platonic friendship.
Okay.
All right. Of course, we're gonna give you like 100 answers. One of the answers is a platonic friendship is one in which two people share a close bond but do not have a sexual relationship.
Mm.
So again, when we're talking about platonic friendships, and we're talking about Jordan and Harper's platonic friendship, There isn't really a platonic one. Platonic friendship ended when he popped on Stevie Wonder that night they were studying. Okay, now let me tell you that song he played. I mean, hey, it could bring the magic juices coming out,
Yeah,
But the thing is that was the last time they were really platonic friends because that's when the heat, that's when the stove turned on and the heat started heating up. So it's going to always be in the backdrop of their friendship. The good part about it is, even though it's risky, that's what's going to keep them close. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one thing because they're not going to X that other person out. Even though the other person should say no when the shit happens, okay? The other person should be like, hey, you're married, or hey, I'm married, or whatever. But all right, Brandy. But
Brandy didn't play something wrong. It's crazy.
Oh yeah. I mean, I get it. You got a lot of ladies that come in with that agenda,
Yeah.
But as for these two people that we're discussing, I feel like their friendship, is strong and it's not going to end, even though they've had some very uncomfortable and unnecessary situations in their life, So, but again, I think the genius in this movie, man, it's so many ups and downs and roller coasters with this movie that you could probably be on this movie for a good 2 months, man, if you actually want to break down everything.
Yeah. Yeah, like I enjoyed watching them go from where they were in college to them being full-on adults, and some of it was like, they still had some, the old desires kick in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course.
And I think most of that came out of like the frustration of Harper trying to, get the new book done, still trying to be a good father, be a good husband, and all that other stuff. And I'm not saying it's an excuse. I'm not giving it as an excuse. I'm not condoning it. I'm just saying that is what you see in movies and sometimes play out in real life. You know what I'm saying?
Frustration definitely
leads to other things. You don't feel like you can vent to your partner the way you want to vent, so they vent somewhere else, and then one thing leads to another. You know what I'm saying? But again, the selfishness of them both made it difficult for them to have that platonic, the real platonic friendship. Like wanted, like you were saying. I don't know. I feel like it gave light to a situation that a lot of people really don't even talk about.
Right. Like I said, they're that couple that you don't hear about. They're that couple that they don't really make movies about. Right. And and even at the end, the way they started the series. I mean, you had hope that they you would hope that they had I'm sorry, just reading the
Andrea. I'm reading the comments too. I'm putting them up there. Yeah.
You would hope that they would have finally got together at the end. The magical thing about this series, the magical thing about this movie is that if this movie grew with us,
It did.
And I can definitely say that when I watched it in college, when they were in college and just getting out of, just becoming them professionals.
Yeah.
That was around the time that, I was at that part of my life. And then Best Man Holiday came up, everyone was like a young professional there in their field and whatnot, and they're excelling. That's when I was in my field. And, me and my friends, we was excelling and whatnot. And then when this came up, the last one, you're in your 40s, people looking older now. Like, Harper, like, I don't know, like, there's some scenes that his eyes were just fat for whatever reason. I don't know why. I'm like, every time he got upset, his eyes like they
I'm
were
sorry,
thinking.
y'all. We're
I don't
having
know.
some technical difficulties here.
Oh, it's cool. It's cool. But yeah. So the movie grew with us, and I feel like we can relate to it in so many different ways. So when you see a Harper and a Jordan, you might not see necessarily a Harper, but you definitely will see a Jordan at times. You know, you good over there? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Charles, you good now? Okay, is it refreshing? Can you hear me? So, but as I was saying, relationships, black relationships, it's not always black and white. You have a lot of gray. With friendships, groups of friends, and relationships. You don't always have a bad guy. You may just have a bad situation.
Yeah.
And what I love, like I said, what I love about this show is it's on so many different levels. Love language, love relationships, friendships, the brotherhood on this show. Okay, I mean, I think that we should save a piece of it for Man Cave, because the way it ended, the series ended. Not to fast forward, but since we're talking about Harper, I want to shout out to his boys that was there for him at the very end, and the way the scene was set up was just brilliant. I mean,
It was definitely brilliant.
it almost brought a tear in my eye, because you know you don't always have to talk to your brother to know what he's going through. I could just see the situation that he's going through, and just look at my boys and be like, all right, yo, let's go.
Especially as close as they all were. Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
Now you've always seen the ladies get close, and they got. I mean, guys get close and joke around. We've always seen the ladies get close. They not. I saved some stuff for later, but they got some sorority sisters that's in the group, and then you got the new people, the new women that's in the group. That wasn't in college, that was met their spouse later on. But and all these relationships, and see how it intermingled throughout these years, throughout these decades, But
I think what stays consistent though is that Jordan is a side chick.
Oh my gosh.
That's what stays consistent.
I mean, that's facts.
I wouldn't. Okay.
I say
that.
All right, let's break this.
I say that for this reason. If we look at her progression throughout the first installment and the second installment, if you see a married couple and they're together, the ship for you and him has then sailed. So then by the third installment, the show, why are you helping to navigate the ship back to where you guys were in the beginning?
I mean, come on now.
I'm just saying the scene happened. They did what they did. So it's like, okay, so you see the cracks in the foundation of their marriage, and you still do what you do. And then when they're divorced and now he's a single free agent, you're like, well, no, I can't be your soft landing, Harper. If we're meant to be, then it will be. You hold everybody else accountable business-wise, but do you hold yourself accountable?
Again, it goes back to what I was saying. Like, she's not emotionally intuitive, and she exactly, DB. Like, she don't want him. She likes the idea of Harper. Does that necessarily make her like a complete side chick? No. I just feel like it's just a person who doesn't want the responsibility of being responsible for somebody else's heart.
Yeah, and
That
that's
doesn't necessarily make you a complete side chick. Like a side chick is just like
that's side chick culture. It's you want to reap the benefits, but you don't want the responsibility that comes
she
along
didn't
with.
even want the benefits. She didn't even want the benefits. They could have been smashed, but they didn't.
I mean,
They
But
this
didn't.
that's her
Every
character.
time they was about to, something happened and it stopped them.
something happened. But let's say in the series, let's say the accident didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say somebody wasn't in the hospital. They
Mm-hmm.
were they were inebriated. They had some drinks. They were by themselves in
Mm-hmm.
a cozy atmosphere. If they didn't get a phone call, something else would have happened.
True. True.
But no,
Yes. Yes. She keep putting
Charles is
herself. Yes, she does keep putting herself in a position
Mhm.
of being a side chick. Yes, she does, without question. And it's only with the same person. And
Exactly. Exactly.
and that part baffles me because I'm like, here you are, fine, intelligent. You know what I'm saying? Available. I'm not going to bring any of her, her work accomplishments into it because at the end of the day, that means absolutely diddly squat. But you still can't find yourself falling for somebody else because you're still holding on to an old idea of something. So you're holding your own self back. Again, I don't feel like that necessarily makes her like the side chick. It just makes her a hanger on. It just makes her, I don't know. I don't know what the term is. I really don't. But it just, for me, like when I think of side chick, I think of somebody who's actually reaping the benefits of being with somebody else's man.
So the benefits don't always have to be, let's say, financial. She has her own money, but
I
that
didn't say it had to be money.
yeah. No, I'm just saying.
She's not even getting the penny.
Because stuff keeps happening.
She got a kiss out the bag.
So if there was no obstacle, this girl would be a side chick if she could.
Without question.
And so, what are the benefits? She has the companionship. She has this man that literally has been lusting for her for decades. If you're around side chicks or you understand the side chick culture, it's not like I want you as my boyfriend or as my husband.
Oh,
I want your
not.
attention.
Absolutely
I want your
not.
attention. I want your resources. I want everything besides the part that requires me to do. So she gets companionship. This man has wanted her for God knows how long. That's such an ego stroke. Out of all the men out here, she's not ugly. So why is his attention so important? Why does it matter?
Well, you can say I think it's almost the same thing that you guys said about Harper. To Jordan, Harper's a safe one. He's the one that's been around the whole time, and that he's been a consistent one that's in her life. Everyone else has been there and out. Okay, so the third installment, she has a dude on the island. Okay, he tries. She don't have time. He tries. She don't have time. She gives him some time. He's now busy. Okay. Fast forward to the last dude, Demetrius. I think that's how you say his name. The character from Power. So she goes back to a jerk, and it's like, how did you even like this dude in the first place? So
it's like she's a self-sabotager. That's the word I want. Yes, she's a self-sabotager because she doesn't feel like she is deserving of the love that she could get. She wants the same idea of the love that Robin and Harper had, but she doesn't feel deserving enough to have that. So she self-sabotages herself with all of these other gentlemen that she was dealing with. She looks for God, thank you. Because I was this person.
Ooh.
I know what it's like to self-sabotage because you feel like I gotta hurt them or I gotta get rid of this situation before they hurt me. let me do something. Let me find the granular thing about this person that
Right.
is so small and minute and make it so big.
Mm.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. I mean, there's
I've
many
been
people
there.
that does that.
I've
Yeah.
been
Yeah.
there. That's why
Hmm.
I don't think, and I think that's why I'm not seeing her in a side chick manner. And I think that's the low hanging fruit. That's the low hanging fruit that I think the director wanted us to see. It's like, oh, Robin is just a homewrecker person. No, she's not. She's not. She's emotionally she's not emotionally intuitive. She's a self-sabotager and she's selfish.
I
Because
mean, yeah,
she wants what she wants for herself.
yes. She
Yeah,
wants
but I
what she
guess
wants when she wants it.
what's hard for me to understand though is, okay, now that he's available, I mean, he's single, he's divorced, Robert is in Africa. Why not, manifest what y'all have been trying to do for the past couple decades?
Because she finally understood for herself, I don't need to pursue something that I thought I wanted. She came out of that. When she was sitting in that boardroom and she had all the success in the world, everything was coming to her. Everything she finally ding, she finally hit the golden nugget. And she was just like, you know what? This ain't it. And that's why she told Harper that, because she finally found her self-worth. She understood that, no, I like the idea of you, but I cannot and I will not be with you just because the opportunity presents itself.
Well, why not
And
just have sex?
like she said, if it happens, hey, it happens. But I am not going to actively pursue this anymore. And I encourage you, Harper, not to pursue this anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I get the relationship standpoint, but it's like, why not just have sex? Y'all
That's,
been
I don't,
y'all been on this for the
I
past
think.
God knows how many years. Just do
Now,
it.
hold on. Here we go. Why didn't she have sex? Because it's not even a slippery slope. Like it is filled with like crude dinosaur oil. Like that's there's no way that she can go and have sex with Harper and then dip after all those years, after all the love, after all
Mhm.
of the relationship, after all the friendship, after all of the rubber band balls, after all of the will they won't they. Yes, Brandy, yes, that's the point. Brandy, you hitting it, because the sex would have been a disappointment. And I'm not even saying that Harper would,
Wow.
and I'm not saying
Go ahead,
that
Randy.
I'm not saying that Harper would have not been able to perform, or because they all, when it comes to sex, everything is put on the man. It's just like, oh yeah, well, you couldn't do this, so your sex is whack. No, it's not even that. The whole thing would have been a disappointment. Let me tell you, when you have the most clarity in the world, thank you. That right there, it would have been like, what the fuck did I just do?
But the thing is, I wonder. I mean, they probably would have had sex had they not got the call to go to the hospital. So
again, she was in a. They were.
I mean, different space, sure, but she didn't think about, oh, this man is still married, and this was the night of like a really big night for Robin.
She got nostalgic. She got nostalgic from the same night. Where's the picture? Hold on.
Where they're watching the movie. I mean, they went to go see the movie together.
They went to go see. Yes. No, I'm talking about in the first movie. In the first movie.
Oh, I'm at the final chapters when they went to the premiere to watch the movie, and then Robin went to go do her thing with her catering.
Yeah.
And then he was going to the after party. So granted, they're all, emotional and nostalgic from watching the movie, sure, But it's like, since he's still married, and this was still like a really important night for both of them, but you still capitalized off of that emotion.
Oh,
Yes.
Brown
Yes.
Sugar. We had so many
Yes.
good movies back then.
Yes. That is what I'm saying.
Good point. Yeah.
That is what I'm saying. Even if the hookup was bomb, it would have never lived up to the anticipation that had been building up for 25.
No, I absolutely agree.
It would
I
have
absolutely
been a
agree.
complete disappointment. The sex would have been bomb because you finally got to feel with
Right. But I guess for me, it's like the timing of Jordan's clarity. It's like, he divorced and single now. Now you want to say, let's not do this. But when he was married, it was like, let's go, green light. So it's just like, that's the part that's not registering for me. Like, you were
I'm gonna
okay
tell you
with
what.
me
I'm
when
gonna tell
he
you
was
why.
married, but now that you have free access to him without any guilt, without anything in the way, y'all can go full steam ahead and nothing or nobody can stop you. You're like, all right, no, it's not a good time now. But if it were to come up in the future, it's like, girl, all right, now you want to have a conscience. That's
Right.
sweet. I love I love that.
Right now, like I said, I'm not taking her side. I'm just trying to understand where she's coming from. Why was it all gung ho when Harper was married? Because again, she did not want to be responsible. She was selfish.
No, she was.
She wanted what she wanted, which exactly, it's no longer the chase. Again, I've been there. I've been there. Like, I know that. Listen, I know this story because I lived this story.
That's the part of the side chick mentality.
Yes, when you are no longer worth the squeeze.
When a man gets a ring, when a man gets in a relationship, it's supposedly women are gonna back off. They're gonna respect the marriage, and it's like this sacred union. I am gonna step back and get out of the way. Oh my gosh! When women see men that are committing and they're being solely focused on their wife, that's more attractive for women. So that it's the thrill of the chase. It's a game for them. I want to see if I can still get his attention. I want to see how much I can get from this person in their dynamic, knowing they're in a dynamic. How much can I squeeze out of him? That's side chick mentality. It's disgusting and it's awful. But now that he's available, it's like, I don't want it anymore.
You know what's funny? Before you said this point, babe, I honestly thought that was just the director's way of just like not giving us what we wanted, because I can't understand how they did hook up after that either. Like after years of wanting each other, lust for each other, and being unavailable, you're finally available, I'm finally available. I mean, let's just kind of see. Like, I would have been like Harper, like, hey, let's see what's going on, But you made a good point. When you were chasing somebody for so long, I think you fall in love with the chase. Like, that's what you're loving. You're loving the chase. And then when a person comes completely available, it's like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird. It don't make any sense, but I understand it. Because, I mean, that's how life is with some people. You got the alpha males, the alpha females that has a thrill of the chase. And that's what they do. So, hence why you have people that go after somebody, they get them and they break up. They go after somebody else, they get that person and they break up.
That's narcissism.
Yeah, it's a bit of that. Yeah, it is.
That's classic. But I'm glad they didn't. I'm glad they didn't wind up together. I think that would have been corny.
Yeah, it would have been very corny, super corny.
If they would have got
if I was Robin, I would have felt the way like, so y'all was plotting the whole time to do this.
The whole goddamn time.
Y'all was plotting the whole time to do this. But I mean, like Drea said, no, Harper is also accountable for maintaining his marriage and being faithful, not taking the blame.
Because the happily ever after went to Lucius Lyon and the wife. I can't remember their names. Quentin and Shelby. That relationship, I cannot wait to dissect.
You know, and it really like leaves me like dumbfounded. Like Shelby was really with Merch in the beginning.
Yep.
Like y'all
Yep.
just passing these people around.
Yep.
Okay.
But
Like you lose forget about that.
in real life, how many times have we seen that happen? How many times have we seen circles kind of?
Yeah. Yep.
Very.
Look at Hollywood.
Right.
Look at the music industry.
You ain't gotta look at Hollywood. You can look at Baltimore.
Yeah.
I've seen some.
For those who don't know,
but they're happy and they have some beautiful kids, and
Baltimore.
very small. That's a whole nother. Oh man, that need to be another show. But you know what I'm talking about too. That need to be a whole.
What? How Baltimore small?
No, the whole. This person is not with this person, and you're like, what the hell? So
yeah, Derry's friends have quite an interesting.
I'm not putting names out there, but I'm gonna just say that you never know what 5 years down the line. I mean, you never know what 5 years is gonna bring. So I'm gonna say, but yeah, I mean that's life. That's life,
It is life, and I think that was the most beautiful thing about the movies and the series is that what you think that you want it to be such a beautiful, slow motion walk off and fade away the black, at the end of the movie, it came to an abrupt stop. Like, yeah, no, this is it. I choose me. I choose me. I choose me. I choose my family. And then it just went on. And I thought that was like so real because that's what life is. That's what life is. We don't always get the fairy tale endings that we want.
No. And that's what I said with the thing with this show was it kind of follows us in real life. Like, if you were born in 70s and 80s, and you were at least in high school when the first one came out, or probably in college, you can relate completely to each one of these movies because when it released, it was at the same time, or at least similar time of your life, and yeah, at the end, 20 years later, you're thinking that, Harper and Jordan will finally get together. And no, they don't, And, the funny thing about it is, something like that kind of reminds me of the Terminator, because the Terminator went a good decade and a half trying to stop something that ended up happening at the end. So, I feel like movies like that keeps your attention, and it's not going to always give you what you want.
Yeah.
And that's life.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Could you both have seen Jordan with a child?
No. I honestly believe that Jordan is afraid of anything that takes her away from her career. Like, I think with Jordan, career comes first. Hence why she can get a man, but she can't keep a man. And I mean, hell, Shelby, we didn't see her getting married, but she still had a kid. Now, of course, we'll say who the father was, but she still managed to have a kid. So you don't have to be married to have a child. I think Jordan is one of those career-minded women where career comes first. Everything else comes second. So if you could fit into her availability, fit into her schedule, then, you're there for her. But, I mean, she's there with you, but you're not going to get all of her. A child is going to take all of you. And she's not even available to do that with the man to have a child with.
But I think a part of her deep down really wanted a child. Like, she was very nonchalant in the beginning, like, oh, there's a possibility, blah, blah, blah. But I think when you see her break down in the car with Lance, I think this is something that she really wanted. And I think looking at fertility from an older Black woman's perspective is very touchy, and I'm glad they focused on it. And you got to see her like in her raw emotions, which is very rare because Jordan can be very always there for other people, but you never see her break down, from this hard outer shell to see who she is as a person, like very vulnerable. She really, laid her soul out there. I think she did want the child because if you think about it, unconditional love from somebody, but there's also that control piece. Like, this is a person that will listen to me, that has to listen to me. I can give orders, and I'm in charge of this baby. I'm in charge of this life, and it gives her purpose. Because granted, you have the business, you have, she can be a good friend, but it's like, I want purpose. I want to say that I have love. Like, you all have children, you all have spouses, you all have somebody that you can kind of bounce ideas off of and have this dynamic. I don't have that. So if I were to have this child, now this is a part of me, I can make it work. This is my dynamic now.
I remember that part real good.
Yeah.
Who was she pregnant by? Because I don't really, I vaguely remember that, but I can't remember that in detail at the moment.
It was a guy from Power. Yeah.
Oh, the asshole. Oh wow.
The one that was helping to fund like federal prison.
Yeah.
So I saw it differently. Like, okay. I think it was the lack of control that she would have that kind of kept her from not wanting to be pregnant. I think that's what it was, because like you said, like you came from this perspective of, you can control this child, you can tell it what to do, why to do it. When you have a child, that's not how it works. The child runs the house.
Right, for sure.
The child runs the house, and Jordan being the person that she is, she ain't feeling that. She's not feeling that. She was never feeling that. So, I mean, she lived vicariously through the godchildren, through Lance's children.
Right.
And that's why she was so close with LJ.
Yeah. It's definitely, I get it. Children are a lack of control, but Jordan's also very calculated. So, I think
you can't be calculated and a parent at the same time. Them niggas,
her reaction spoke volumes. Your life really felt. Because, I mean, ladies, I'm looking at y'all right now. Have some of y'all had a pregnancy scare, and when it came back negative, you were doing like the hallelujah dance?
Because you knew damn well he was a
She didn't have that reaction.
And you let him bust in you.
She didn't have that reaction. She was sad. And it was a genuine sadness. So I think a part of her really wanted that baby.
I think all women, not all, but I would say majority of women, when the opportunity comes, they do want to experience motherhood. Okay, I think most adults want to experience parenthood.
I mean, it's in our DNA to procreate.
Right,
that's what we're made to do.
But some people put life in front of it, and and later in your life, when you're in your late 30s and early 40s. You feel like, oh, it's too late. And then you get a glimpse of it. And it's like, oh, wow. I can still be a parent. And it'll be heartbreaking. That would generally be heartbreaking, I mean, especially in a woman's mind, because they're supposed to have a time limit. And then once they get past that quote unquote time limit, they become a high risk. A high risk don't mean that you can't have kids. It means you're high risk. You can lose a baby. That's it. So that's why you have Janet Jackson, who had a baby at 40 something. But yeah. So we're in the society that says once a woman becomes definitely in her 40s, oh she don't have the kids by now. She'll never be a mother, which is not true. I mean, flat out not true.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, the thing that I
More than
noticed,
one way to be a bird.
yeah,
Oh,
the thing that I
definitely. Oh,
noticed with,
definitely.
and it goes back to Dee Dee's comment, we see Jordan as a godmother, and by far, she is probably the best at it in that season, especially looking at LJ. He
Oh,
confided
definitely.
in his godmother over his own father.
Yes, yes, yes.
And just to see how Jordan handled him with care and allowed him to be himself, and she still
Yeah.
loved him regardless. And she wasn't one to like babble his secrets to everyone, like, you need to tell your father. She's just like, look, I'm a safe space, make it work. And I think when she was able to see the love that Lance had for LJ when he went missing,
Yes. Uh-huh.
that love is different. Like, is she capable of a relationship love? No. But when she saw that like godmother, godchild love, and when she was able to witness the parent child love, that's something that I do think inherently she really wants. Because that kind of love is truly unconditional. It's not
Oh yeah.
something where it's like, you got on my nerves, I don't like the way you breathe, I'm dumping you. That love is unconditional. When, I mean, Lance wasn't supportive of LJ in the beginning, but it's like, sir, that's your child.
Yeah.
That's a love that you
Yeah.
got to learn to accept it, because it gets no deeper than a parent child. Like that,
Right.
Yeah.
I see my friends now with their children. That love is strong. And I
Oh yeah.
love to see my friends in that parent role, because it's like, wow, this person came out of her. Like, this the way I see my friends look at their children. That's something that both Derry and I aspire to.
Right.
I mean, it's such a genuine connection, and I just love to see it. So I think her disappointment in the car was genuine. Like, I
Yeah.
really want someone to love. I want someone that, granted, she likes to be in control, but at the heart of it all, like, I just want unconditional love for me. I see it
Right.
around me, but I want that for myself. I may not get it in the relationship realm, but maybe I can try this parental realm. I'm good at that. I'm good at being the auntie and the godmother. It would have been nice if I had a chance to even explore being a mom.
And there are a lot of women that's out here that's like that. Like they experience that unconditional love from their children. And you know, the best love they'll have will not be from a man; it'll be from their child. You know, because a child's
No.
love is unconditional.
Unfortunately, that can go left.
It can. I mean, it
That can
can.
go left.
But it's, you know, I see where Brittany's coming from, especially being at the age that I am now. You know, I've been in daddy mode for years, and you know,
Right.
I know that me and Brittany get blessed in that way. I'm gonna be screaming from the mountain, you know.
I know.
But being at this age and you see it around you so much, you know, and it's like, oh well, when is it gonna happen to me?
Yeah.
You know, and if you're a woman that's single, or you know, you're half dating some dude that's an asshole or whatever, you know, the best thing come out of that relationship will be someone that love you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I believe the tears were genuine.
Yeah.
What I think she would have been the best mother, possibly at that part of her life. I mean, she was definitely at a different age in her life. She would have been a good mother as a younger, you know, a younger mother. She would, I feel like she just wouldn't be able to do that. But you know, I do think that she would have probably been a better mother at a later age. That makes sense.
So I think coming from like the independent Black woman perspective, I think she's finding her voice now. Like at the end, she kind of walked out of her business meeting like, yeah, no, it's all about me now. So I think she would have been a better mother now. I think in her 20s and 30s, she was so focused on, you know, being her best self in the business realm that I don't think a baby would have been in the cards for her. But I think now that she's, you know, been through some stuff and seen stuff happen around her, and she's evolving into like, you know what, I'm at the top. Where else can I go? Like, I need to put myself first. And I think that would have been a time for her to have a child, because it looked like she was trying to slow down life because it was
Right.
so physically demanding. And she's like, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. But I think the reason why it resonates so much is because as Black women, fertility is something that, you know, when we get over a certain age is on our minds.
Yes.
And just
Yes.
see, like, again, in your teens, in your 20s, we trying to have our hot girl summer.
Mm-hmm.
And not all of us are ready to be mothers. So if we even have the
Mm-hmm.
thought come across our mind, like I could potentially be pregnant, we're thinking about, okay, loss of partying, loss of a social life, loss of traveling. Maybe I can't be as established in my career. Maybe I can't do this. I'm going to miss out on X, Y, and Z. But now that we're settled and we're in a space where life is settling, we're in our careers, our bodies may not be, in the same mode as it was in our 20s, but us being pregnant at our age now is kind of like, okay, okay, I can see myself doing this. But it's hard when, you have, how old are you again? You don't have no kids. What you waiting for? So I just feel like this thought of motherhood is just shoved in Black women's faces. And so imagine having that opportunity to prove people wrong, and then it's taken away from you, just the option.
Yeah.
So that's one of the few times where I'm like, Jordan, my heart, baby, my heart breaks for you. And it was a really good scene, and I love the fact that it was Lance in the car and not Harper, that it was not Merch, that it was not Q. They would not have handled her the same way that Lance did. Lance did the best thing. Sometimes you got to sit and let people feel.
Yeah.
I think Harper would have been extremely awkward.
Yeah.
I think he would have made it.
He would have tried to dissect it. He would have tried to dissect
it and made it about him. Like, well,
made it about him.
Who you having sex with? That's not that.
Well, you didn't want to have a kid with him anyway, because he was an asshole.
Right, but I think because Harper's selfish, that scene would have gone left, because he would have made it about him. Like, well, we didn't have sex, so who was it with? I didn't know you were having sex.
Man, I think that's wow. You just said something, yo.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, to have that scene with so much emotion with someone who did not have the emotion and learned that emotion from his wife.
Yes.
He learned how to be emotionally intelligent. He learned how to be emotionally intuitive, even through his hump fest. Like, even through that, like, he still allowed her that space.
Yeah.
Because he understood what it took to have that space. Because when he went through it with Mia, and I mean,
exactly. Nobody else was equipped for that moment. No other man in the series. Merch would have probably got out the car and ran away. Like, I don't know what to do. Merch would have been so scared.
He'd have freaked out.
He probably would have called, like, can somebody come? And
it had to be Lance. It had to be Lance.
But you know what? If you think about it, though, the character Mia played, she was the glue that kept everyone together. On the second installment, she was sitting there smoking weed with Q, and it's like she had moments with her friends that was just between them. One of them was a sorority sister, one of them was a friend from college, and she was such a caring person, a caring woman in general, that even to the day she passed, her gift was all of them being in the same household. So of course Lance learned that, and Lance learned things from Mia that he's never learned from any female.
Exactly.
Oh man, I gotta save all that stuff for when I talk about them, because I think Lance's story is phenomenal. But it's but again, when it comes down to just the dynamics, Lance being there for Jordan, like you said, it could only be Lance. Nobody else could have been there. None of the females, just somebody that understood like that moment, that wasn't biased, wasn't judgmental, that wouldn't try to solve anything, And sometimes, yeah, you don't need to say anything. You just be that shoulder to cry on. Some people just, what happened to that? I don't have to hear your voice. I don't need you to explain nothing. Just let me fucking cry.
Right.
Mhm.
And those are
Even
friends. Those are
through
real
his
friends.
own, like he was
Hmm.
going through it. He was going through it,
Yes.
and he still
Yes.
found that space to be
Yes.
like, my friend needs me.
Yes.
A true platonic friendship, and I think people underestimate the beauty of it. Like just being able to have somebody of the opposite sex that you can be vulnerable with, just like you can be
Mhm.
vulnerable with your homegirls. It's
Yes.
equally as gratifying when you can have that in the opposite sex. And that moment was a beautiful moment of a man and a woman in a strictly platonic friendship, sharing vulnerability and nothing more and nothing less.
Yes.
Again, Harper and Jordan, it would have been too convoluted, and it would
Yeah.
have taken away from the moment, and we
Mhm.
would have focused on again the dynamic as opposed to she's mourning the loss of a child. And
Yes.
I just thought the scene was brilliant.
It was. I mean, going through that, those that actually think that, oh, we're about to hit parenthood and find out that either they're not pregnant or they have a miscarriage. I mean, it is heartbreaking,
Yeah,
especially if you're at a time in life where you know, that's the one thing that's missing, you
yeah,
know? And
yeah,
um and I feel like that part of her life, that was the one thing that was missing. She'd have been able to support the baby with no problem. She'd probably still be able to travel like she wants to and everything. But to have that love that she's been craving for some year for decades taken from you, it just rips your heart out.
yeah.
You know?
It's like in looking at Jordan, everybody else has had character development, like single, dating,
Very true.
children. Jordan has been businesswoman, failed relationship, businesswoman. That's been the constant for her. And it's like,
Hmm.
finally, this is my time where I can be greater than just a businesswoman, be more than
Mhm.
just a businesswoman.
Mhm.
And it's like, never mind, I don't have that option anymore. So it's back to businesswoman.
Hmm. And
Yeah.
sadly,
I'm-
forgive me for playing devil's advocate, but there are a lot of women that's like that. When they get into their 40s that don't have any children, and it's like, is this it? Am I not going to be a mother at all? And like I said, we're under this impression of once you're in your 40s, then you're stuck where you are. I mean, I've seen a woman get remarried at 60, and when I say glow, this woman had a glow to her that we didn't see until she got remarried to that man.
Hmm.
So it's nothing is set in stone, and nothing is out of the options unless you want it to be. And I just gotta put things in God's hands.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it's. I'm glad that they put that in there. I mean, I vaguely remember it because it was towards the end, but
Mhm.
it was kind of like a shocking scene because it kind of came out of nowhere, and it was like, oh wow, like this is a left turn. Like this
Yeah, because
isn't even with a dude that she married. This isn't even a dude that she should even be with. Like
Mhm.
this is a straight up asshole, and
Yeah.
she got pregnant by the dude, and it's like, oh, where is this going?
But you know what's
And
funny?
it's disappointed.
I mean, granted, like what he did to get his money wasn't the best, but it's like he's a businessman. I thought you liked businessmen. You're a businesswoman, and sometimes you got to step on some necks to get what you want. So it's not like you didn't do some underhanded, sneaky stuff too, and
But then,
especially in that industry. So it's
But he
like,
was a
man,
blatant asshole, though. I mean, that was different. I mean, to disrespect your friends like that. I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I understand where you're
yeah.
coming from, babe, because
But
yeah, business minded, but he was blatant.
yeah, that came from a jealous space
Yes.
in that point in time where we're all foible. You know what I'm saying? We all have
Mhm.
the capacity to have the not so good emotions and traits. come to the surface, and
Yeah.
he just picked a shitty time to do it. No time would have been great, but he picked a really shitty time to do it. And like I said, he came from a jealous spot, you know what I'm saying? Because he thought that Jordan was like his only one, or he thought that Jordan felt like he was her only one when it was something else brewing. And you know, sometimes the ego, and I'm not even trying to label it as a male or female, I'm just saying the ego sometimes cannot take certain things.
Exactly.
Especially when it challenges your worldview.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
Oh guys, we done went way over the time.
Yeah, we way over time, y'all. We gotta go. Like
I'm just saying, I'm happy with the ending. I'm happy with the cliffhanger. I'm glad that they did not get together. Like Charles said, that would have been very corny and very like beneath us. Because it's just like sometimes you like that feeling of anticipation, and then like Brandy said, it happens, and it probably would have been like lackluster.
It's low hanging fruit, and I'm glad it didn't go for it.
Yeah.
So, thank you, Darius, for popping on and giving us your wonderful insight. You always welcome here. I mean, you don't have no choice.
Thank you.
Same house.
Right, we live in the same house.
But you are so welcome. Thank you. We appreciate you being a fan. We appreciate you being a supporter. We appreciate you. Just I appreciate you for loving Brittany.
Thank you, man.
I appreciate
you. Became a brother from another mother.
You already know. You already know.
Yes.
So,
me too.
As we always do at this time, we give you the guest, the solo. Tell the world what you got going on.
Baby.
Oh, well, you know me, I'm just working and paying bills. But I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to go ahead and promote the show. Get out there, folks, and get these t-shirts, get the merch, please, because my baby and my brother have been growing. The show has been growing. I have been very, very, very proud of y'all. I mean, I brag about y'all on a regular basis. I share the show as much as I can, and I've had people come to me about the show. I've had people come to me asking questions and whatnot, and man, just keep doing y'all. I'm gonna always be there to support. So love y'all.
Love you.
Love you too, bro. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So y'all know what to do. If y'all want to be a part of the show at any time, all you gotta do is what? Inbox the page.
Inbox the page.
If you
I didn't inbox the page last week, and I wasn't invited, so you need to inbox the page.
I mean,
they don't do favoritisms here.
The rules are the rules.
Rules are rules.
I kid you not. My husband really thought he was coming on the show last week. Well, it was his birthday for one, but two, he didn't inbox the page. The rules are the rules.
The rules are the rules.
And so he inboxed the page. I have the screenshot of him inboxing DU as proof. So,
all right. So who we talking about next week? Who we talking about next week before we get up out of here?
Next week we're talking about what dynamic is.
I love Quentin and Shelby.
Quentin and Shelby it is. Then.
Yo, I love. When I say I love this couple, I love this couple so much.
I'm a little on the fence. I don't.
Of course you are, and I can't wait to hear you.
I love them, but I'm just like.
I cannot wait.
Oh man!
Next week.
At the end of the day, y'all.
If you want to be a part of next week's show, if you want to come and you got a whole lot of opinions, like my co-hosts here, plural. If you want to come on and inbox the page, we'll get you on.
Inbox the page.
It's easy peasy. It's nothing to it.
You guys, what's funny? Charles and I, sometimes we be going head to head on this show, and it get real hot to the point y'all are like, are they gonna survive this? Y'all, when it's over, we be laughing.
Yeah, we laugh. We crack up. Backstage, we crack up
we
after the
show. The moment though, where I'm like, wait, what? No, we ain't finna do that. But then when the show's over, it's like, so what you eating for dinner? You good?
Exactly.
Oh man,
it's so funny. I love it.
So,
I laughing.
Right. So inbox page, y'all. Y'all know what y'all homework to do. Like, comment, and share. Share. Listen, it don't cost y'all nothing, but it means the world to us.
Yeah.
That you just even click like, that you click follow, that you click subscribe, that you share this out. Listen.
Yes, it means the world.
It means the world to us because I'm telling you, before we even popped on tonight, we got a new follower. And I was just like, oh, shoot.
I saw that too. I was like, hey, girl.
Oh, you know this person?
I do.
I'm asking.
I don't.
Oh, see?
Do
You
I?
see?
I don't think so.
Do you
No.
see?
Do you see?
You never know. You
Yeah.
never know who we might reach.
Yeah.
So please continue to share.
Follow our
Like,
pages.
follow everywhere. Follow
Instagram page, whatever mine is.
Yeah, follow our Insta.
Yes. You can even
You
follow
know.
me on Facebook. I'm really a cool individual in real life. You can follow my page on Facebook. If you watch the page, if you've
I
commented,
was about to
tonight,
say something about this weekend, but I'm gonna.
yeah, we're not
Oh
gonna talk about
boy.
this weekend. But if I see you commenting on the page, I'm giving you a friend request because I truly love you and love the support.
Ooh,
So please accept me. I'm not
Oh.
weird.
that's a good topic. We should do that. I will definitely. I will.
Brandy.
I will.
Yes.
I will gladly sit out that episode because.
Sit out. Why you gonna sit it out?
I mean, because it's not. I mean, I want that space to be for you guys. And she, like you said, she wanted from a female, or from a woman and a man's perspective. Oh yeah, I'm on that show then. Bet.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm there. I'm on it.
let's talk about butter.
Yeah. Okay.
I want you there.
So yeah. See y'all next week. We love y'all so much. Thank y'all for joining. We'll catch y'all
Bye.
sometime during the week. Yeah. Holla.